It's Christmas night and I'm horny. I yearn for absolute intimacy. Your sweat, your hands tearing at my body. Your stare, unblinking with those eyes. Mouth open, panting into my face. I hold the fucking shotgun under my chin. Snow falls gently outside. The sun is setting. Give me one reason not to blow my fucking brains all over my fucking Christmas tree. I fucking dare you. Rewind. Now, stop. Green light.
Welcome to the Fantasy Cast podcast, where three grown men pass the time by sharing their deepest, darkest fantasies. Here we go.
Yeah. John, I got your holiday card.
Yeah, me too. It was very cute.
Oh, good.
Got it today.
I have nothing to do with that. You know that, though.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah, you're not signing.
Yeah,
you don't sign off on anything?
I mean, I see it, and it's, I say how cute it is, but it's all stuff.
Nathan, what's going on? What are you drinking?
It's water with a little bit of Celsius energy drink powder.
Oh my god, that's such a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Celsius is like really strong, right?
That's right. 200 milligrams.
Fuck.
Hey,
I don't have any Coca-Cola. I'm drinking water today.
Oh, that's good for you.
This
still good for you.
I hate it.
Hey, John, we just cleaned off our fridge, but for the longest time I had the picture of Gretchen as the little slugger with like the baseball bat over her shoulder.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking it's funny because that's like not who she is at all.
Not at all.
Doesn't seem like
very
it
cute,
anyways.
though.
Very cute. I'm like, yeah, that's a little slugger right there.
Yeah, she didn't last long doing that.
You made a comment online that you said you hate sports parents.
Oh yeah, have you guys been to? Well, you have, Nathan, but have you been to a game, Mike?
No. What's the deal? Why don't you like these guys? That seems weird.
They scream. They scream at the kids.
Yeah, they like getting
and the
fights
ref.
with the refs and stuff.
It's great. It's wild.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Come
on, Corbin! Come on, Corbin! Shit, like just screaming.
Where did they get this from?
And they're like third graders.
Yeah.
Is it from TV? Do they get it from TV? Is there a certain coach that does that or something?
No, the coaches are sweet. It's just the parents. Coaches are fine. They don't yell at all.
It's really uncomfortable when a parent is like screaming at their kid to like do better, and their kid's obviously being traumatized while it's happening.
Yeah, it has no fucking interest in playing basketball.
Yeah.
But it is kind of fun to watch.
I've never seen a fist fight, but I understand those happen a lot.
Yeah, this didn't get to that point, but it's like they were at an NBA game, like
right, like they were heckling people.
The score was like 13-7 was like the final score. Wasn't you know what I mean?
Seems like they're just trying to encourage their kids.
Oh, fuck you, Mike.
It just seems I would probably do that if I saw my daughter on the field and she was slacking. I think it's kind of like my duty to encourage her, to inspire her. So,
yeah, they did seem the kids seemed inspired for sure.
Yeah, one time I saw a parent berating a kid on the sideline, and then they just went off and scored 30 points the next quarter.
Oh, for real?
No.
Oh.
No, that's never happened.
I had a football coach pick up a kid by his shoulder pads.
Uh-huh.
Like picked him up over his head. This kid was like just hitting people randomly. Like we're standing on the sideline and he just like headbutt you.
Yeah.
So he picked him up. He picked him up over his head and slammed him into the ground, and then the parents filed charges on the coach.
But the coach won.
I don't.
Coach won because the kid had it coming.
I mean, he definitely had it coming, but it was like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Listen to your pious ass. Unfucking believable.
Yeah, I don't think there's a judge in the world that would convict that coach.
Yeah. He sounds like he had it coming. John's getting to whatever. Fuck this guy.
I'm gonna ride both sides of this thing and play you guys off each other.
I went to a play, like a children's Christmas play, at this place here in Chicago, small place, and it's for children.
Steppenwolf.
Little place. It's not like Lieutenant Dan wasn't there or anything.
It wasn't Laurie Metcalf wasn't there.
Laurie Metcalf wasn't there. Whoever the fuck else. Tracy Letts was there, but he was just checking out the theater. And we accidentally picked the first row.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a fatal mistake because it was a sing-along for Christmas stuff, and a lot of these songs I don't remember a lot of them. You know what I mean? Like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, like you don't remember the words to it.
Yeah.
And so these performers coming out, and my kids loving it, and these performers are like, "All right, everyone, sing along." And they just straight up put the microphone in front of my face the first time, every single time, and I never know the words. I'm trying to hum it, and they're just getting angrier and angrier at me. The first time I was like, "Okay, I fucked that up. Let's just move on." They were obviously pissed. And then the next song comes on. I'm like, they're going to pick someone else. No, they come right up to me again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're really looking me right in the eyes. And they're like, the message is clear. You better know the fucking words to this.
Yeah.
And it was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And I don't know all the fucking words to that song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're like frustrated with me again. And they're like, really, really sorry, guys. We thought this was a sing-along. We thought you came along. Third time, they do it again. Fourth time, just keeps happening. And like by the end, they're so tense. The guy holding the mic, he's dressed up as like a teddy bear. His face is like so red. He just looks like a sausage.
Yeah.
He's holding the mic, sweating. And I'm looking at him and I just scream at him like, I don't know the words. Can you please pick someone else? I don't know the words.
Yeah.
And they said I ruined the show, and I don't think we're gonna do it again. Have you guys ever had a situation like this?
It's funny you bring that up. I had almost that exact same situation where it was like, so there's this guy that plays steel drums at this market, and a guy was singing and he had a microphone, so steel drums, and then the guy singing, and he did the same thing where he put the microphone to my mouth. They were doing like,
it's like reggae versions of like Christmas
songs? They
songs?
were doing like pop songs, like reggae versions of pop Christmas songs, you know, so like the
Wham,
fucking Celine Dion, right? Yeah. And so he stuck the microphone in my face, and I just started I froze, and I grabbed the microphone, and I just started freestyling over top of the steel drums. You know what I mean? And the crowd loved it. Even though, like, cool. You know, I was doing this kind of like, you know, I'm a dad. I'm a white dad. My bars are corny, you know. And they were like, the crowd was eating it up. And you can tell that the regular MC was just pissed that I was getting all the attention, you know. And he reached for the mic, but I like turned away from him so he couldn't get it back, and it just kept going. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
The regular MC is like a pretty serious guy, or?
Well, you know, he's used to all eyes being on. He's used to working the crowd. So I don't know if I'd call him serious, but he didn't think, he thought he was putting me on the spot. And he did. But when I see that kind of like challenge, I step up to it and I take the microphone, I start freestyling, I go on for the ending of the Having a Wonderful Christmas Time, the John Lennon song, on into the Mariah Carey song. You know, so spanning
you're like
two
looking
songs.
at the drummer, and you're like,
yeah, and I'm like getting the steel drummer into it, and the steel drummer has no choice but to like engage with me, you know. And so just imagine you're an MC, you know, and you're singing songs, and you're just standing off to the side for what feels like 10 minutes, you know, when in actuality it's like probably like 3 minutes, 4 minutes,
right?
You know?
Feels like a lifetime.
And this guy is just like freestyling over a steel drum. The crowd thinks it's cute and charming at first, but then it gets pretty tedious. And he starts to get restless and he starts to want to take his show back. So that's kind of what happened.
So
I didn't take a hint.
Similar to my story.
Yeah. Can I tell you guys about something that happened to me the other day at the mall?
Yeah.
So I was sitting at the mall.
You did just tell us something that happened to you, but whatever. Go ahead.
I did. So I was at the mall. You know how they have those? Side note. You know how they have those massage chairs that you can put money into and they massage your back?
Yeah.
You guys ever see those?
Yeah.
I don't know if they have them around where you guys are. But what's cool about those is you can sit in them and you don't even have to put any money in them, and they're pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
So I was sitting in one of those things, waiting for the mall to close, and I'm looking at one of those kiosks that they have where they sell like hats and shit. And the owner of the kiosk got into some kind of tiff with a customer who was standing there. It was too far away to see what it was. They start going back and forth. The owner of the store starts to punish the customer, and it got me thinking, how many times do you guys think you have to be punished before you learn your lesson? So if you guys do something wrong and you get punished for it, how many times do you have to get punished before you learn your lesson?
This is a good question. Really quick, I'd like to say, if you have a fantasy, maybe a response to this particular question, how many times do you like to get punished? Send an email to fantcastpod@gmail.com. That's fantcastpod@gmail.com. I don't remember what the phone number is. None of you guys fucking call. A lot of you Instagram people aren't doing fucking jack shit for us. You're on fucking thin ice. I'm about to cancel this fucking account. But how many times?
How many times does it take for you to get punished before you?
Three.
Yeah.
Once it's my fault. No, wait. Once for the first 2 times it's your fault.
Yeah.
And then around the third time, it's 4 actually. Around the third time, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm doing something wrong. And then the 4th time, I'm like, okay, I can't do this anymore. So 4 times.
Right. Yeah. What about you, John?
I mean, I'd say probably around the same 4 or 5 times, maybe 6. Depends on what it depends on what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it could almost become like a habit.
Well, it's like you can control the other person by making them lose their cool.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is cool. First time they do it to you, you're angry at them and you want to get back at them, so you make them do it again. We're talking like a boss or something.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You're daring them. You're like, what are you going to do about it? You're going to get all pissed off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to lose your cool because that's humiliating for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a lot of different ways to play it.
Yeah, that's true. Also, I figure so if you get caught, so let's say you get caught and punished, you do it again, caught and punished, you do it again, you get away with it. You do it again, caught and punished, you're going to think about the time you got away with it. And you're going to want to do it some more.
Yeah, dude. What do you?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your answer?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, I mean, as many times as I can before I physically stopped in some way. Before there's something structurally that'll stop me from doing it,
like
getting
handicap
or
okay.
Yeah, like getting beaten to the point where I can't do the thing anymore, or getting restrained. They belt down. Yeah, exactly.
Turn into a cripple.
Yeah,
that's hot, dude.
It is. And to John's point, like, what if the punishment isn't that as bad as like what you get out of doing the thing?
Yeah, it's rarely as. I mean, it's never that bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if you enjoy it.
Yeah. Like, what's something that you're enjoying right now, John? What's something that like is really making you happy on a day-to-day basis?
Day to day?
Yeah.
I like to come home from work and take a nap, masturbate.
Yeah.
I like to do it all before my family gets home.
Yeah.
And getting caught doing that wouldn't be the worst thing. I wouldn't be in trouble, But it would definitely ruin my day.
Yeah. Well, think about this. So you're at home,
But it's it's worth gambling, getting caught.
So you're at home, you're laying down on the couch, naked,
completely naked.
Yeah. You're relaxing. You're watching TV, and you're playing with yourself. And the mailman comes, and he looks through the window, and he bangs on the window, and he's like, "Hey, cut it out." Like you're a pervert. Cut it out. He reprimands you. He tells you off, and then knock this off. That's not going to stop you from doing that.
No,
you know what I mean.
I'm in my own home too.
Yeah.
Well, what he's doing is illegal.
Yeah, he shouldn't be.
He should be reprimanded. Yeah.
Do you guys?
Yeah. But maybe him being like, if you're like, fuck off, leave me alone, stop watching me jack off. Maybe for him.
I wonder how many times he does that before he
exactly
learns his lesson.
Like, I feel as a mailman, you get a little bit of a pass peeping in people's windows.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, if you see a mailman like creeping around somebody's bushes, peeping in somebody's windows, you're not going to think twice about it. You're just going to assume that they're trying to like drop off a package or something.
Perks of the job.
Yeah.
We have go ahead.
You get to sleep with lonely women, stuff like that.
All the food you can eat.
We don't have meat delivery guys anymore. We don't have milkmen anymore, unless you're one of these fucking weird people who does that. So mailman's really your last chance of getting a lot of women to get estranged. Or if you're a guy, you know what I mean? Some of these women, they deliver more than mail, Peace of mind. It's like a therapy. It's like physical therapy. It's like how I say physical therapy is not only physical therapy, it's sexual therapy, and it's just like therapy.
Yeah.
I keep saying this to people, they don't understand what I'm talking about. But if you've been to physical therapy, you know what's going on there.
Yeah.
There's a whole bubble about to blow about that whole industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you saying, John?
I was gonna say we have a really attractive male lady. Like,
that's what's up. That's what's up then. Okay, that's what's up.
Looks like Jennifer Lawrence.
Wow.
This woman's so attractive that I thought that it was like a
prank.
Like a prank, yeah.
Yeah. like she's a stripper dressed up like a mailman.
Yeah, like even the clothing that she wears is like, it looks like she's wearing tailored like mailman clothing.
Right, like it'd be like if like a pop star was wearing a postal outfit for a song about mail.
Yes, it's very hot.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep your imagination popping. I mean, I guess this is your male person. You're sitting in. Okay, let's roll with this. You're sitting on your white leather couch, naked, sweaty as hell. Just got home from your job. It makes you want to go on a shooting spree every goddamn day. Playing with yourself. You're not looking at pornography. It's just straight up raw, anxious sexuality.
Yeah. Not even really thinking.
No, it's just like you can't help it. And
white leather couch.
She knocks on the door, on the window. She's like, "Hey, knock that shit off." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You look, and she smiles, and she stares just a little bit too long. Okay, and you hesitate, and then she shrugs and she's like, okay, and walks away. What do you do?
Does she like cracks a smile?
Cracks a smile, looks at you to do something. You're dumbfounded, and she shrugs and then walks away.
I probably I close the door, and then I go straight to the window and kind of like I walk along the window with her and just staring at her.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's cool.
I let her see my body,
of course.
Do you pound on the glass at all?
Pound on the glass,
like you slap the window pane.
Yeah. I have my forehead pressed against it.
Dude, your hands on your hips and you're shaking your head like shaking your head back and forth, but smiling at the same time. You know what I mean?
Is that? I mean, are you allowed? I mean, you can be naked in your front window, right?
We know a guy who got the police called on him for showering.
Really?
Yeah, Kenny.
Can he call the police on him?
No, some woman called the police on him for being naked in his own bathroom.
Oh, weird.
You don't remember this, Nathan? You told me the story. Yeah. Anywho.
What'd they do?
What do you mean? Who?
What'd the cops do? They were just like
I think they're just like sniffing him out, see what the deal is.
weird.
God, I
Yeah.
wonder what that guy said.
How embarrassing.
I wonder if there's a loophole where you can you just install like a bathroom in your living room, like front facing. You know? So you're taking a shower.
It's like a sexy thing.
And everybody who walks by your house, can see you doing it, and you take like hour-long showers as a legal loophole to expose yourself to your neighbors.
Who are
If
these
you don't
guys?
like it, don't look. That's what you keep yelling at people.
Yeah. Why do you even notice? Why are you looking in my window? You know what I mean? And you're pounding on the glass or whatever.
But I've often thought, I'm not even kidding, thought about being a mailman because it seems like it's you get a lot of exercise, you're well respected, whatever. But it just seems like there's too much like opportunity for people to like if you walk on somebody and you front steps and deliver the mail and they take a swing at you or something, and knock a couple of your teeth out, and then they can be like, oh shit, I'm sorry, you just scared me walking up on my porch. You know what I mean? Just seems like you're in a position to like startle people a lot, and then bad stuff happens.
You get bit by dogs all the time. Shit like that.
Dude, my dog straight up chases the mailman, like up and down the block. Like nipping at his butt, and he's literally saying like yipe and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's so funny to me.
Seems like
it's funny.
That is really funny.
And it's a true story.
Yeah.
You guys remember my friend Ryan? Real fucked up guy that came when we
Oh yeah. I forgot his name.
Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah.
He worked at Amazon. He worked at Amazon and got bit by like a small dog.
Uh-huh.
And he sued the family for like $100,000.
Really?
Did he win?
Yeah, he won. He won.
My God. Only that guy.
And then Amazon gave him like cash to, I don't know. It was this whole thing. He got a lot of money. Yeah.
Holy shit. That's awesome.
That's a payday.
Then protect him.
He got $100,000 and
I think something like that. And I think Amazon maybe, they like gave him money as well or something like that.
Prime.
That's so cool.
Prime for a year.
Yeah.
Prime for a year. Okay, should we get into it, guys? Is everyone doing okay?
Yeah.
You guys ready for Christmas?
I'm feeling loose. I'm feeling loose. I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling joyous.
Good. It's been a while. I'm going to go first. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Please do. Please do, Mike.
Let's do it. Okay. This one's Christmas themed. It's called One of Those Christmases. One of Those Christmases. What comes to your mind when I say that?
Was that hypothetical or
I'm reading the story. For real though, what comes to your mind when I say that?
Just one of those Christmases.
Yo, I'm not asking. I'm telling the story, dude. Okay, for real. I'll read the story now. I'll stop messing around.
Like snort.
It's Christmas night and I'm horny. I yearn for absolute intimacy. Your sweat, your hands, tearing at my body. Your stare, unblinking with those eyes. Mouth open, panting into my face. I hold the fucking shotgun under my chin. Snow falls gently outside. The sun is setting. Give me one reason not to blow my fucking brains all over my fucking Christmas tree. I fucking dare you. Rewind. Now, stop. Green light. Months earlier, I was just a down and out pickup artist for hire with a low level YouTube following. To learn the real tricks of the trade, you have to hire me, pay for my hotel, and I teach you the ropes. I've had a perfect record helping people all over the damn world, learning the art of seduction. Sure, some of my methods are unconventional and illegal, but I also turn my clients out. Nothing is off the table, and no mountain is too high enough to satisfy my students.
If you can demonstrate that you need to be groomed, and there is a male 5 to 8 feet, yeah, it's a hardwired. What'll happen is you'll actually get itchy. And
I'm gonna watch out for that.
One of my pupils was shy, so I locked him out of his house and took all of his money away from him. I spent the money on high-end escorts and parties that I would throw in a storefront, and told him that if he could find a way to ball one of the people in my party looking the way he did, homeless as fuck and ugly, that I would give him all of his belongings back. It took months of me nightly balling these beautiful hired sex workers in this storefront in front of my client to make him hungry enough and brave enough and strong enough. One night, I turned around while balling a bunch of the sex workers in the storefront, and I saw my pupil. He had charmed some of the sex workers that were smoking in front, and they decided to let him in and ball with him for free, if you can believe that. I usually act like a hard ass, but you can bet there were tears running down my face as we balled in a group setting, right next to each other. He had grown, and I was paid to help him. That's what I do. So you guys understand what was going on there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he was basically like homeless. He was like a homeless guy for months because I took all of his belongings. I eventually married one of the beautiful sex workers, but life happened and I found myself down and out and alone. After that, I would only pick up damaged people that were sure to make my life more painful than it already was. They robbed me, emotionally tortured me, told lies about me, scarred my body, and messed up my credit score. They cut my hair while I was sleeping and smeared shit all over my bathroom walls like I was running a library or something. One day, this kid came to me. He was skinny, tiny little ratty little kid. He came to my place pounding on my door, telling me that I was his only hope. He had tried everything, but he was truly a dateless wonder. He said he tried everything there was to try under the sun, but none of it worked. Meanwhile, while he's telling me all of this, he's in my apartment with me, and I'm staring at the floor with my mouth open, not blinking, only wearing torn up boxer briefs. My lips are the same color as my face skin. I'm really pale, and I have a gray stubble. There's sunlight coming in through the window, and you can see dust floating around. The kid starts yelling at me because I'm not responding to him, and he says that maybe that what everyone says about me is true. I am washed up. I never had it. I was a fake and a phony. He says all this, and I throw a snow globe at the wall and start crying, yelling about how I lost everything and how all the things that he said were probably true about me. And then the kid ran away. Just as he leaves, I hear a knock at the door. It's my ex-wife. She is wearing a fur coat, and she is fine as fuck. And we start making out. She isn't wearing anything under the fur coat, which disgusts me a little bit. But that disgust is invigorating sexually, and we do it on the couch. I'm holding one of her legs in the air, and she is wearing a high heel. She never takes the fur coat off. She whispers that I'm the best while we are doing it, and I look up at the mirror on the wall and see myself for the first time in months. I open the window while rubbing myself to maintain my erection. It's cold as hell, and I yell to the kid who has been sobbing loudly on the curb since he left my apartment. I tell him that I'm going to get him some sloppy, and I slam the window shut to continue having vaginal sex with my ex-wife. The kid looks around and hugs a homeless guy and kisses him on the cheek and runs down the street while he is saying woohoo and stuff like that. And the bum looks at him running away and says, "Man, that white boy is crazy. It's crazy as white boys are crazy as F up in here." Long story short, I struggle with severe depression and suicidal ideation and elaborate suicidal planning while trying to help this kid to get laid. He really is incelled. Way online. He has a bunch of race theory stuff that he's adamant about. He's into anime and movie criticism and right-wing aesthetics and fashion. So he is really unbearable to talk to and has a hard time relating to females. There's a couple of times I have to lock him up in an abandoned building, like in the Basketball Diaries, to help him get his head together. He's very annoying. I take him to a homeless shelter and we feed the homeless people. We try to think of good presents to give our loved ones. We make the commitment to do one anonymous, selfless deed a day. And during this time, I go home and keep playing with a shotgun in my bedroom. But I tell myself, I just need to get this guy some sloppy. I just have to stay alive and just get this guy some sloppy. My ex-wife seems to appear when I'm at my lowest to keep me from blasting my head off. I eventually get the kid to approach a girl in a cafe to ask her on a date that he has been slowly building a rapport with. They date for a month and eventually have sex. They have a relationship for a while things run their course. And a few years later, they realized that they were simply at different points in their young lives and they broke up. No big deal. My ex-wife the whole time was a ghost. Did you guys realize that?
No.
Yeah. She passed away from an illness. You see, and that's what broke me earlier on in the story. But in a way, she's what kept me alive. The last Christmas, I straight up almost pulled the trigger, but chickened out at the last second and pulled away just as I pulled the trigger and the gun hit my forehead and mutilated my face. After I healed, I was at a cafe and I was drinking coffee and I saw the kid with a group of friends walking down the street towards a movie theater. And he looked up at me, but he didn't recognize me because my face was so different. I still get hot top with a woman who knows I'm haunted, and we have an unspoken agreement to waste the rest of our lives together, keeping each other company, but keeping a little distance from one another to maintain what we have going on with each other. During this time, one Christmas, I was puking in an alley because I tried to drink again, but don't have the body to do it anymore. I stumbled and knocked over a fat man wearing all red. I helped him up and noticed that a board with a nail sticking out of it had gone into his leg. He said that he needed help, and I figured I would give him a hand. I realized that he was Santa Claus, and I helped him deliver all the toys to all the children. Afterwards, he took me to a secret club in Chinatown in New York City, where we smoked opium and had lazy sex together with some of the women that hung out there. He walked me out of the club at daybreak. I had my arm around his shoulder, and I told him that life is truly strange, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I went to pee on a storefront and said, "Damn, it's cold as hell out here," and asked if he had any more cigarettes. Oh, hell, I should quit. What am I doing anyways? But when I turned around, he was gone, and I looked up and saw a shooting star in the light blue morning sky. The rest of the day, I was hungover, but content and a little cold. I took a long hot bath and had some ramen from this place that is just down the end of the block. I can't complain. It was a pretty good Christmas. The end.
Oh man, so many things coming up.
Yeah. It was really all over the place.
No, it's
What was it called? Just one of those Christmases?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm getting Ghosts of Christmas Past. I'm getting Redemption. I'm getting a holiday gift.
I'm glad you're getting that. Because I see this as a whole movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think this can easily be turned into a movie. It can be turned into the character's got so much going on. It can be turned into a series. I mean, there's so much story upon story in there.
Yeah.
You got me, you got the kid, you got the ex-wife. Like, what's her story? Santa Claus comes in at the end. I mean, and there's so many like young actors that would like want a shot at something that's like more edgy like this. I think you can easily sell this to Netflix. You can easily sell it to an independent company or producers or something like that. What do you guys think it's got legs? You guys think it's got legs?
Yeah. What do you think about this for the Santa Claus, Ewan McGregor?
Okay, because he's a little bit older. Yeah, that would be surprising as hell.
Yeah, put on a little bit of weight, you know?
Yeah, totally. And he takes you to a sex club.
Yeah.
An opium sex club.
He's got a little bit of edge to him. Mhm.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, why can't he be Irish, Santa Claus?
Yeah.
It's a saint, for crying out loud.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I there's so many like Christmas themed stuff. What kind of shape do you imagine yourself to be in?
I think I'm like kind of like just good question. Maybe just like a guy who's like kind of stocky. You know who it would be? Remember Zero Dark 30?
Yeah.
That like guy with like the big face,
Yes.
squinty eyes.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to him?
Which guy?
Fuck, what else is he in?
He's in a lot
of the ape movies.
Yeah.
Just kind of like
I was picturing like Paul Giamatti.
Oh shit. You're thinking more of like a sideways vibe.
Yeah, but yeah.
So I'm thinking like
Maybe a little better looking.
Yeah, someone like a little, I don't know, a little stronger. You
Yeah.
know, definitely hairy. Maybe like has the body of like Alec Baldwin. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In when he was like maybe in the 90s or something. Like that kind of build is how I picture it.
You're very strong though.
Definitely full head of hair, long hair. Like, you know, not long hair, but like hair that like goes from the front all the way to the back.
Yeah,
and whip it around with these like dramatic scenes that are happening in it.
That silver stubble with the pale face.
Because he's aged. I mean, this guy's like a boxer that's just been around the block one too many times. He's just looking for one last chance, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, this is great. Great stuff.
I see a whole movie, I see a series, something. I don't know, man. And at it's even like the first scene, it's like voiceover, I'm down and out. I'm such and such and such. You know, then it cuts that we have the title. It's one of those Christmases. Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. How cool would it be to like, okay, a guy like Santa Claus, you know, whatever. There's so much lore around him.
Yeah.
But to you know when you're like out having just like a crazy time with somebody and you connect with them and just for that moment you're like, this is the best. This is my best friend.
Yeah.
You know, like this person gets me. We're having this experience together. Imagine having that with Santa Claus.
That would be so cool. Santa Claus is my friend.
Yeah.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is good stuff.
That's a good fantasy.
People want that. People want those feelings. That's a good fantasy.
And somebody that you can feel like close enough to and intimate enough with.
God, imagine having sex with someone in a fur coat, dude.
Yeah. Oh, that's
and she's fine as fuck, dude. And she like likes you. Doesn't say anything, comes and goes.
Yeah.
And is gone just like that. It could only be a brunette.
Yeah. So the reason she's your ex is because she's dead. She died.
Yeah. She died of cancer.
Yeah. So you definitely would have been.
That's why I was all tore up.
Yeah. So you guys would have stayed together.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Were you a pickup artist before you met her?
Yeah, she was one of these high-end escorts.
Oh.
From the storefront. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Storefront.
So I turned this guy like into a beggar. You know what I mean? Like I took his whole life away from him and I was like, that could be one episode, you know?
Yeah, you just dangled it in front of him.
Yeah.
To put some kind of psychological pressure on him to perform.
So I don't know. It wasn't very sexy.
No, it was.
No, it wasn't. I could tell. This didn't move the meter at all. It's fantasy. It wasn't a sexual fantasy per se. There's sex in it. There's some sex in it, but it just didn't hit like I usually like to hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like to have like one, you know, really steamy scene.
Yeah.
I let you guys down.
No, not at all.
No, I fucked up.
I'm gonna make another drink. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I mean, I think you're your own worst critic.
It's not good. I mean, we should probably cut it out. Cut the story out.
Fur coat.
Yeah,
I thought that was sexy.
Thanks. Steve.
Real fur too.
Yeah, for real. So that feels good too.
Mm-hmm. You had a nice warm bath. You threw a nice warm bath in there.
Yeah, I love a bath. I keep just talking about taking a bath, steaming up the windows, coming downstairs. Food's ready.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Big old bowl of ramen. How good does that sound, dude?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I like that.
Check this out.
What's up, man?
You're laying down on the couch watching your favorite show, whatever that is, fill in the blank, or whatever. And your couch is so comfortable and you have no other obligations that if you wanted to, you could just fall asleep on your couch and you'd get a great night's sleep.
It's time too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, having the time.
You don't have to wake up for anything.
No.
And you can just sleep on the couch and just let the sleep run its course.
Yeah, Sonny. No one's going to bother you. You don't have to feel guilty about it. No one's going to bother you. No one's going to judge you for falling asleep on the couch. That sounds really nice.
And it's one of those
middle of the day. Dude, what if it's like middle of the day?
Ooh, yeah, you're watching a baseball game, like a day game. It's like the third inning. You're just like, you know what? I'm just going to fall asleep. It's like 2:00.
Okay.
You know, you wake up.
Okay.
It's dark outside already.
Okay.
And you don't care.
It's wintertime. You already made the commitment that you're going to order out.
Yeah.
You're going to order out barbecue.
Yeah. And you're starting to get stressed out that you're not going to be able to go to sleep at night at a normal time. Not the case.
No, you eat yourself to sleep.
Yeah. Sleep just fine.
Now we're talking.
You want to go next, John?
Sure. All right. It's a whiskey and Coke. It's Bullet, yeah. It's really good. All right. I'm a young man, 20, I'm like 27, kind of starting my career. And a friend lives in LA and he's like, you got to come out before you start this new job. So I set it up. I get a plane ticket, go to the airport, and I'm looking around. Everyone is just like, seems like everyone's in like a good travel mood. Everyone's like happy. Security super cool. Like no problem boarding the plane. Stewardess is really sweet. I sit next to this guy who's just really fun and nice. Everything's awesome. I fly in. My friend picks me up. He daps me up as soon as he sees me and gives me this huge hug. The dap it's super fucking loud. Just like this thunderous thing throughout the airport. People are looking and people are smiling. They're just happy. They know we're gonna have a good weekend. He starts talking about how insane the weekend's gonna be. His friend Andrew's gonna be hanging out with us. So we get some food. We meet up with his friends. We talk about what's gonna happen throughout the weekend. One of his friends has a little bit of Coke on him. He just does a quick bump. We're at like a burger joint. And he just does it just on the table, just right in front of everyone. And I was like, oh shit, this might be like kind of wild weekend. And he offers me some. I do a quick line. So we hang out all weekend. We go surfing, go to the beach, go to a couple of bars, see some shows, go to a movie. All pretty like tame sort of things. And then it was like my last night there, and I asked them, I'm like, I'm really, this is a lot of fun, but I was hoping to get a little bit of pussy pie while I was here. And so Andrew's like, well, shit, I didn't know you wanted. I mean, if we could take you somewhere. And Andrew and Brian look at each other and they dap up really hard. Really hard dap, super loud. They hug each other. So he calls an Uber. We go to this club, and my friend is like, grab a table and just look around. So I sit at a table. He goes and grabs a drink. I'm looking at everyone. There's just like all different types of people there. Like there's like nerds, there's jocks, there's freaks, there's like goth people, there's just like fat people, there's just everyone. Everyone's there. Everyone's happy. He brings me back a drink, and I just shoot it back. And I was like, what was that? And he's like, well, what do you think it was? And I was like, well, I taste like fruity notes of apple, cherry. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, it's spicy though, and there's like hints of nutmeg and clove. And he's like, uh-huh. And I was like, it's an oaky flavor. And he's like, right. And I was like, is this Kentucky bourbon? And he's like, yeah. So we dap each other up really fucking hard, give each other a hug. I look over, I see his buddy is on he's on the dance floor and he's just rubbing a girl's pussy through her jeans. We make eye contact and we just sort of laugh. My buddy tells me he's going to look around a bit, try to enjoy himself. So I'm just sitting there. I'm just kind of nursing a beer at this point. Not really too interested in anyone there, but it's just fun to watch, you know? So I have another drink, looking around. I'm just having fun watching my friends have a good time. And I'm getting tipsy. I look over to the bar and I see a woman reading a newspaper and it's upside down. Like I can't see her face. This newspaper is upside down. So she's sitting there, her legs are crossed, and she's got a short mini skirt on. There's like fishnet stockings. She's probably like 28 inches tall. So so I walk up to the bar, I order another whiskey, and I try to flirt with her. So I try to flirt with her, and she's not really responding, but her body, she's definitely giving me like body language, like just sort of like moving around in a way, sort of slithering. So I order my drink, I get a shot and a beer. I throw the shot back and I was like, "You want something?" And she spreads her legs really fast, just real quick, just like a quick shot. I look back at my boy, and he smiles at me, and I look at him, I bite my hand. I go, "Oh fuck, damn!" I look back at the other dude, and he's pretty much having sex on like the dance floor. Can't remember the names, Andrew and Brian. So she opens her legs again, and there's a small puddle, like on the stool that she's sitting on, and it's like super slimy, and I can there's like an odor to it that's it's not bad, but it's definitely not. It's almost like as if it needed to be released, you know. I asked my friend, I'm like, "Is it cool? I mean, like, I know everyone's kind of getting freaky here. Is it cool if I slow stroke?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's totally fine." So I dap him up again, super loud, and give each other a hug. I look over at Andrew, and he's like, he's at the point where he's like almost butt fucking someone. Like he has this woman's pants down. His pants are like at his knees. We lock eyes. And I just point at him. He points at me. We both start laughing really fucking hard, just like woo. So I sort of touch the girl's leg, and she kind of opens up. I put my hand in the puddle, and I get 2 fingers on it, and then I sniff it. It smells pretty fucked up, but I'm just like, fuck it. So I put it in my mouth, and I make sure she can hear me going, you know. So I'm just keep lapping her up, and then I'm like sort of playing with her this hole. I don't even really know what it is because it's dark. You can't really see much. As I'm jerking off with one hand, fingering her with this other hand. I ask her if she can remove. I was like, "Do you think you could remove the newspaper so I can see your face and come?" And she was like, And I'm like, "Please." And she's like, And I'm like, "Come on, let me see." And she's like, And it turns me on even more, you know? So I bust. I blow clown, and then the newspaper falls down, and it's ET. And I just immediately, I'm so shocked by it that I just strike him repeatedly. He's just on the ground, and I can't stop punching. I'm using everything. I'm using my right hand. I'm using my left hand. I'm throwing my elbows. And Andrew and Brian run over and just rip me off of them. They order me a water. We get in the Uber and then go home. And that's it.
Man, only in LA.
That's crazy. E.T.
I guess I could have, I don't know, maybe introduced the idea of the E.T. in the beginning, but
No, it's perfect. That fantasy,
The last
that fantasy
second.
hits. It hits.
I mean, you sprinkle these little sexy little clues in there. 28 inches tall.
20 inches tall.
They're reading a newspaper upside down. So you know
Weird,
something's up.
weird smell.
Yeah,
weird smell.
sex,
Like-
slime smell.
You're in LA, so you know you're anticipating running into a celebrity.
Yeah, and it's ET. It's crazy.
Yeah. That's so cool. It's really sexy. I imagine when you put your hand in your mouth after touching the goop, that your mouth goes numb.
Yeah, it's like having a multiple Mentos in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is really a story about friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's about these guys trying to show you a good time and you enjoying seeing them have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, what do you guys fucking talk about in that car ride home? What's that car ride home like?
They probably tell me that I was right in doing what I did, but deep down I know that what I did was totally wrong.
Were you crying?
Yeah, I'm probably screaming and crying.
And your shirt's off.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's like a little bit of cum on my jeans.
Yeah. And I imagine they're the kind of friends that like they will support you, you know.
Yeah, they'll at least, make me feel okay, and then when I leave they probably won't talk to me for a long time.
Yeah.
Enough time to like forget about it.
Yeah.
Take the edge off of it.
But also they probably get it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They would have done the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's why E.T.'s sitting there with the newspaper,
Yeah.
It's deceptive.
Yeah.
I picture the guy who was having anal sex on the dance floor, like reaching out to you after the fact and checking in to make sure you're okay.
Oh, like the guy that I'm not really friends with, like the new friend. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Because that guy has a little bit of edge to him.
Yeah, you're right.
He gets it.
He gets it, and he was like, he had a great weekend.
He had an amazing weekend.
He's like E.T. does this all the time. You don't have to worry about it. But E.T. does this kind of shit all the time.
Yeah. What when you guys?
What is dap? I gotta ask. What is dap? It's just like a really good like handshake.
It's just like just
okay. There's so many of them.
It's just one of those ones where it just gets
connects.
You connect, yeah.
I love.
It's not just a normal high five. It's like
I know.
Yeah.
The impact you feel is emotional.
Yeah.
I like when you're just like looking at your friends and you guys just share a look and start laughing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You do this thing where you're like
that's when you have a certain amount of drinks and you're both just so happy.
Yeah, that's great.
Good bourbon, good friends. I mean, you got your nut. It's not like it's
I
you didn't
did
get your nut.
And E.T. got her nut.
Yeah, E.T. got her nut. You got she got drippy.
Mm-hmm.
E.T. does this all the time.
This is E.T.'s thing.
Fishnet stockings. Should be like baggy, like socks that are like too big inside of high heels.
I had no idea what
because he dresses up like a girl in the movie, if you remember. Like a blonde wig.
For the life of me, I could not remember what E.T.'s body is so fucked up.
Yeah, it is. It's like a gyro piece of gyro meat. Like the gyro on the steak upside down.
Yeah. That's cool. All right, I'll go ahead and hit you guys with this one. So
hell yes.
I'm a lonely guy. I have kind of difficulty. Like I might be on the autism spectrum. I just don't really my affect doesn't really register in the same way that other people's do. I don't really respond to situations necessarily, in a way that is congruent with how they should be responded to. And it kind of puts people off, but there's something like charming and endearing about it. So I've like made quite a few friends, but I've had a hard time falling in love and finding a woman. So I'm on a dating site, and I'm going through one of those dating sites where they link up to your social media network, and they like through like friend of a friend of a friend or whatever, they connect you with somebody that's also on the dating site. And I meet this woman, and she's blonde, very like bright eyes, very bubbly, in shape, but doesn't overdo it. Wears really stylish but not over the top clothes. Very like you wouldn't, if you saw her walking down the street, she wouldn't stand out, but you would clock it as like this is somebody who looks like they have it together. Great makeup. It's like that kind of makeup that is like kind of pushing it beyond normal day-to-day makeup. It's like somewhere between normal day-to-day makeup and like drag queen makeup. So like a little bit extra, but it works for her. And so we go out on a date, and we're just humming, hitting it off. Like she grew up in the same area that I did. She went to like a high school on the other side of town, and we probably knew a lot of the same people. And I'm just quickly within this one date just really falling for this woman. Now, I don't have a ton of experience in relationships, but I'm very much connecting with this woman. And she's taking lead, and she asks me, we have finished dinner, and she's like, you want to go grab a drink there's a nice little quiet like wine bar in my like at the first floor of my building. You want to have a drink? I'm like, yeah. And she takes me to this wine bar, and we're having some really deep conversations, tasting different wines. She's telling me she knows a lot about wine. She's telling me all about it. She's telling me about her childhood. She's telling me about camp and her hopes and dreams. And I'm telling her about my life and what I did at summer camp, and, really opening up about my insecurities. And just, it feels like it's moving fast, but it feels right at the same time, if that makes sense. And she says, why don't you come upstairs to my apartment, and we can have another drink and talk more. So I'm like, okay. So I go up, and she shows me around her apartment, and it looks like, it's kind of sparse. It doesn't really have a lot going on in it. It doesn't look very like lived in. And I sit down on her couch. We start to make out, and she's fully taking lead, and she takes me by my hands, and she lifts me up, guides me up, and I'm standing there, and she starts to undo my belt and drop my pants like she's about to perform oral sex. And I'm looking at her with this gaze of just like wonderment. Like my mouth is open like a little bit, and I'm like staring at her like I'm looking through her. I have this little smile on my face, but I also look like somewhat confused. It's just like this really stupid look, It's like really annoying if you saw somebody with that look on their face. And so she pulls my pants down, and I'm fully erect at this point. And she holds my dick in her hand. She puts it right up to her lips like she's about to put it in her mouth. And she says, "Psych, nah, bitch. Thought it was. Fuck you thought." And then she takes the tip of my dick, and she pushes it down like a diving board. It goes like boom, 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 boom. And she looks up at me like, expecting some kind of reaction. And I'm just looking through her with that stupid face, like this, like eyes a little bit squinted, mouth open a little bit, And so she does it again. She hits it again, goes, boom, 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 expecting a reaction. But I just keep having the stupid face, like I'm just enamored with her. And she's like, "You're broke too, and you're a bitch." And she's looking at me like waiting for a reaction, and I just keep looking at her, and she kind of looks around a little bit, looks at her phone, gets up, and just walks out of the room, walks out of the apartment. And I'm just like sitting there with my pants around my ankles, rock hard. And I zip up and I go home. And the next day I'm like calling all my friends, and I'm like, "Hey, I just had this date with this woman. Her name is Cynthia. This woman, Cynthia, and have you guys ever met Cynthia? And they're like, we don't know who you're talking about. We've never met this woman. I describe her. I'm like, she says she knows this person, this person. We're like, no, we've never heard of her. And so I'm really perplexed. I'm like, I'm just completely puppy love struck by this woman, trying to track her down. And I'm posting on social media. I'm like, I just fell in love with an angel, and she, just like that, she walked out of my life, and I can't find her. And I'm very sad and very distraught, and this goes on for a couple weeks. And I go out to just watch a movie at a movie matinee. They're showing Kevin Hart movie, and I'm just sitting there, and I see the silhouette of somebody who looks like her, and on the way out, I'm like, Cynthia, and she looks at me, and she sees me, and she kind of like scuttles away, like she's like sheepishly, like she's trying to avoid me. I chase after her. I turn the corner. I don't see her anywhere. Later that night, I get a text from her, and she's like, I'm sorry that I had that reaction. I just, my feelings are so strong for you that I couldn't, really, I didn't know what to do. That's why I left the room that night. It's because I was just overcome with emotion. But I do want to be with you, and why don't you come meet me at this hotel tonight, and we'll pick up where we left off. I meet her at the hotel, and I go up to her room, and she's sitting there in a very seductive dress. It's not really a dress. It's more like a nightgown. It's one of those silk nightgowns that just kind of like falls off the body a little bit. And the lights are off, and there's just moonlight. And she beckons me over, and I sit down, and we start making out. And she guides me down onto the bed. She starts stroking my hair, and she flips me over, starts to pull my pants down, and she's leaning over, and she's kissing my neck, and my ear. And I get this look on my face that's kind of like the same look I had on my face at the Kevin Hart movie. I was just like, it's kind of like a smile, and my eyes are squinted. I'm just in this like perpetual state of like pleased contentment, just like knowing that I'm in a place of like comfort. And I look back at her, and she looks at me, and I feel like a pinch, like something is going into my ass. What feels like a dick going into my ass. And she leans in, and she says, "I'm a man, motherfucker." And I look back at her with this face, this like content face, this smiling like dumbass. Like just imagine the face of a guy who's watching a Kevin Hart movie at the movie theater, And so she keeps just like keeps inserting it. She's like, "What the fuck are you gonna do about it?" She keeps pushing it in my ass further and further, and my look doesn't change. This just like dumb look doesn't change. And so she's, from an anal standpoint, this thing can't go in any further. She's pushed it in as far as she possibly can. But my expression has not changed. And then she pulls out, and she's like really kind of exasperated and exhausted, and she's like, "What the fuck? You're not gonna have a reaction to this?" And I'm like, I just accept you for who and what you are, and whatever you are, we can work it out. We can make it work. And I hear like a rustling coming from a closet, and a bunch of guys, like two guys, one with a camera, one with like a boom mic, come out, and they're like, "This isn't gonna fucking work. This is stupid. This idea is stupid. Let's get out of here. We can't. This thing is done." And they leave. And it turns out this whole time she's a social media influencer, and part of her thing is she gets guys all like worked up, and like horny, and then disappoints them in like a really humiliating way. And her whole thing is like capture that reaction, right? And I'm just looking at her, and I'm like, "You're an angel to me. You're an angel." She's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I'm like, "Cynthia, you're my angel." She's like, "My name isn't fucking Cynthia. This is like a bit that I'm doing. And it just didn't fucking work out because you're too fucking stupid to have a reaction." And I'm like, "We can work this out, Cynthia." And she's like, "Shut the fuck up." And she hits me in the face. She's like, "Be angry." She takes out her phone, and she starts filming me. And she's like, "Be angry." She's like hitting me back and forth. But I just do not change this dumb expression on my face. She just I just won't do it. I'm just like looking right through her. You're an angel to me. You're an angel. And she starts attacking me and just like hitting me, like yelling at me to be angry, be angry, be angry. You know, I fall on the ground. She takes it's like a phone. It's like one of those heavier phones that they used to have in hotel rooms, and she bashes it over my head. She breaks my orbital bone. She takes the cord. She like wraps it around my neck. And she's like slamming my head into the side of the bed, and she's like, "Be fucking angry! What is wrong with you?" She takes the table, it's like the bedside table, cracks it down on my head, picks my face up, slams it into the glass a bunch of times, and it's the window of the hotel room starts to crack, you know, and it doesn't break completely, but like my head starts to like puncture a hole in the glass. And then she just scrapes my face along the broken glass and leaves like a smear of blood. And I fall down and my eye is swollen shut, but I still have this dumb expression. "Cynthia, you're my angel." And so she just starts kicking me in the head with her heels on and screaming at me to be angry, you know, and I got knocked unconscious. I come to in a hospital bed. I'm in traction. I'm in like breathing tubes. My jaw is wired shut. And I like make a full recovery. Takes me probably like six months, a year, you know, and I'm finally like healthy. And this whole time I'm lamenting the fact that I just let the best thing in my life just like walk right out the door. You know, there she was. A couple of years later, I've kind of got my life back on track, and I'm at work. I work at an office, and I get a video, like I'm scrolling social media, and a video comes up, and it's this influencer that's doing like home rehab stuff. You know, like she'll buy an old home and document her journey rehabbing. And I'm like, looks familiar. That's Cynthia. And I tap my coworker, and I'm like, "Hey, check this out. I had a thing with this girl." And he's like, "Yeah, she's pretty hot." I'm like, "Yeah, like she was the one that got away." And I'm like, "Hey, can you give me that? Can I use your pocket pussy?" He's like, "Yeah, no problem." He pulls out his pocket pussy from his desk drawer. He gets a phone call, so he gets distracted. And I'm just like sitting back. I take out my dick and I start having sex with his pocket pussy. And I'm just sitting back and just imagining this time that we spent together, you know, and I'm watching my friend's pocket pussy. And it was just suddenly so clear that this pocket pussy would never stop. It would never leave me. It would never hurt me. It would never shout at me or get drunk and hit me, or say it was too busy to spend time with me. It would always be there, and it would die pleasuring me. Of all the would-be girlfriends who came and went over the years, this fake pussy, was the only one that measured up. In an insane world, it was the sanest choice.
I couldn't hold. She walked away, my heart turned cold. Her fist fell hard, her words took aim. But love's the fire I still proclaim. Bruised and broken, I stood my ground. In her storm, I nearly drowned. Body beaten, mind in night. Yet love sparkled in the twilight. She cut me deep but couldn't steal the love I knew was truly real. Though shadows danced and nights grew long, my heart remained an undying song. She punished skin but left so free. In her silence I found chains can bind, but hearts take darkest night.
That's it. That's a fantasy.
Nice.
Wow, that was really good.
Thank you.
No matter what, she couldn't break you.
I didn't. She couldn't. I just didn't know I was trying to be broken. You know, that's how strong the feelings were. She could have done. She did do anything she wanted to me. I imagine her like, you know, the Catch Me From Behind or Catch Me Outside.
Okay, yeah.
Catch Me Outside.
Yeah.
Bad baby. I imagine her like that.
Bad. Okay, cool.
You know, like a very hip with it young white woman that goes in and out of black vernacular fluidly. You know,
I was picturing like Eve or Lil Kim or something like that. I don't know why.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah, that's actually sexier to me.
Lil Kim, because she's just about the business.
Yeah.
But so is Catch Me Outside too.
Yeah.
So
both of them are just complete savages.
This reminds me of a previous fantasy you did where a divorcee moves into your neighborhood and you just keep adamantly ignoring her. You know what I mean? So much so that she actually drives the car into your apartment and you're ignoring her so bad. It's so like pathological that you're screaming for help from anyone to help you, even though she's standing right there.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. I also had a fantasy where I was an undercover cop and busting up an illegal dildo operation. And my CI was so annoying because he kept saying, you know why they call it taint? Because it taint cooch and it taint ass. Taint cooch and it taint
I remember
ass.
that one.
I just kept saying it over and over and over again, and I got so annoyed that I beat him almost to death with one of the dildos.
Right. Because someone's just so disconnected.
Yeah.
You know?
They're just in there.
That was like an early one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I cracked the dildo over his head, and it turns out it was just made out of chocolate covered in gold foil.
So you just casually, your coworker hands you a pocket pussy?
Yeah.
And you just start, you're like, man, thanks, dude. You just start using it while he takes a phone call in the other room, and he's cool with it.
He's like we share like a desk area, you know, like you can kind of slide your chair back and twist a little bit and talk to the guy behind you, you know?
He sees it. He's like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, we're cool like that. I also thought it would be sexy to have a friend relationship like that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I liked when you said I couldn't do anything else from an anal standpoint.
It just wouldn't go any deeper.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I just thought it would be sexy to be just helplessly in love with somebody to be able to ignore any kind of social cues or abusive reality of what was happening.
I didn't even pick up on that. You say right in the beginning that you're autistic, basically.
Yeah. Just fascinated with this woman.
But she's wearing a lot of makeup. See, that was a red flag to me.
Yeah, she's got that social media influencer makeup.
Okay, so it's just
that translates on screen.
Right. In real life, it seems crazy looking. But you have no reaction to that because you love her.
Yeah. It just doesn't register what's happening.
That's crazy. It's sad too.
Yeah, I think I'm brain damaged. That's what would have to be the case.
Yeah.
Because even somebody who's like autistic would have just some like visceral reaction to getting beaten that badly. You know, to like recoil in some way or at least change their affect. But I think I have some kind of like, neurological damage.
That's so hot, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so sexy.
That's why you just gotta, drink A1 greens. Keep your shit tight. Don't let your mental facilities lack, or that's what